Oh, I love to be an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is what I truly like to be. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of the fourth film in the franchise that is The Naked Gun. This is directed by Akiva Schaffer. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, The Naked Gun is back for its fourth iteration. This time, Leslie Nielsen unfortunately has passed away, but of course, we have Frank Drebin Jr., who of course is played by Liam Neeson, and it's basically a continuation or kind of a reimagining of the franchise that is about Frank Drebin and his files of Police Squad. And this time, he is fighting against a character played by, of course, Danny Houston, who plays this billionaire tech guy who, in essence, is trying to destroy the humanity. And of course, we have Ed Hockney Jr., who of course is the Paul Walter Hauser character, who is the son of the George Kennedy character. And it's basically the story of, Frank Drebin once again doing his crazy antics, being self-serious, who of course is in the process of once again tracking down the bad guy. There is a love interest played by Pamela Anderson, who plays Beth Davenport, who in essence becomes similar to Priscilla Presley. And a lot of crazy things happen that are traditional for a Naked Gun movie, whether it be sight gags, whether it be, things of, crazy nature. And because it's Akiva Schaffer, who is known for being a part of the Lonely Island, you know that it's going to at least be humorous for what it's trying to do. And once again, this is a Naked Gun movie, and it is very much in that line of what, of course, Leslie Nielsen is known for. Okay, so with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a huge fan of the Naked Gun franchise. I think it's like one of the great comedies of all time. I think it really hinges upon the sight gags, Leslie Nielsen's performance, the fact that, he's playing self-serious. And it's always been just a wonderful look into the crazy scenarios that Abrams and stuff like that put him into. And going into this movie, knowing that Liam Neeson was going to be in it, and it was going to be a movie that was directed by Akiva Schaffer, who's known for doing like the Lonely Island stuff and directing a lot of really fun, entertaining movies. I know Liam Neeson, like Leslie Nielsen, was a more known dramatic actor at the time before Leslie Nielsen took over in these kind of crazy scenario movies. But it was a franchise that really means a lot to me, to be fairly honest. So I was hoping that Leslie Nielsen was going to be good. Of course, Pamela Anderson's coming into this, and she's really talented as an actress. But for my honest opinion of this movie, I think it's pretty successful, to be fairly honest. I think it's funny. I think it's entertaining. It's endearing. I think Liam Neeson is hilarious as Frank Drebin Jr. I think what sets it apart is the simple fact that it takes itself seriously, but also knows when to be funny. And though some of the jokes go on for like way too long, I think Akiva Schaffer, is the modern generation of the Abrams, Zucker brothers kind of sense of humor. You can see it in every facet. You can see with like the jokes that are being presented, but you see that in everything that Akiva Schaffer does, whether it be Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, Pop Never Stop Popping. It really is a funny thing and really worth it when it comes to what he is capable of doing when, the fascination of like the humor and the sight gags and stuff like that. But I think it's also helped that Liam Neeson, who comes from a dramatic sense of technicality and action sense, really gets what Liam Neeson was doing in his day. Or I'm sorry, what Leslie Nielsen was doing. It's funny, they got both like L and N names, which is actually quite ironic. But Liam Neeson he's got that sense of humor that is very dry-witted and very crazy in his scenario, in his logic and reasoning. You see it in like I think Ted 2 with the Lucky Charm cereal and stuff like that. He's a very funny individual. He's a lot like Harrison Ford in a lot of ways. But I just think that's what makes Liam Neeson work for these types of movies. You gotta get into the sensibility of like, this is a movie where, a dramatic action set piece is taking place. Things are happening, but you gotta have the sight gags, whether it be, Liam Neeson as a little girl, which I thought was very, very funny, or just the things you expect out of a Naked Gun like movie when it comes to the side gags, whether it be like the coffee as he's driving, or people taking tickets like they're at the meat market and he's constantly, Liam Neeson's beating him up. And then you have like Danny Houston, who is playing, the main bad guy in this movie with his henchman, who's played by Kevin Durand. They're playing straight characters with some humor in it, but they're playing like the straight bad guy. But the people around them are idiots. They act like idiots. And I think Danny Houston does a really nice job as like I said, the tech billionaire. I think he plays it straight. He plays it funny. He's a lot funnier than I was expecting. Kevin Durant he is not the funniest guy in the movie, but he has some funny moments that he has to be put into. So overall, it's just really, really good when it comes to its humor. But that's kind of where it lies when it comes to like the funny nature of what it's trying to do. And then, like I said, Pam Anderson comes into the mix, and she's playing Beth Davenport, and her story arc is very similar in the nature of like what Priscilla Presley's character was doing in the original movie. She is just kind of the love interest, but Priscilla Presley's character, like Pam Anderson's character, are very funny and dry-witted, and they're giving some really funny things to do. But that's kind of where, like, you know, Pam Anderson works really well. It may not be the funniest character, but it works as well as it can for what it's trying to do, and I think she works well with the scenes that she's in. To be fairly honest, that's kind of how it rolls. And the sight gags are pretty funny. They're well done. They're well established. I think personally some of them go on way too long. I think some of them actually lose the humor. Yes, there is a thing in Hollywood or a thing in comedy where the humor can be really funny, dry out, and then be really funny again. But I think they do it too much in this movie. There's a couple of sight gags that may or may not be in the trailer that just go on for a little too long, to be fairly honest. And that is just the unfortunate nature of today's comedy. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it could have been better. It could be something that works, but sometimes it doesn't. And I just think here it sometimes feels like it doesn't work. So I don't know. I don't think it's bad, but I think it can be a little too much. But I think what Akiva Schaffer and his writing staff, and what Liam Neeson and what, you know, Pam Anderson and Paul Walter Hauser and the crew have done, a really authentically faithful Naked Gun movie with a lot of great humor. You know, in the credits, there's some really funny stuff. There's callbacks to the Naked Gun. I think some of the really funny jokes are in the trailer, unfortunately. And I think overall, it's a movie that succeeds more than it fails, to be fairly honest. And whether you appreciate that or not, or whether you know, can be on board with that, is going to be entirely up to you and what you think and how you feel about this movie and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know really what to say when it comes to that kind of stuff, but I did laugh. I had a good time with it. It was quite funny when it needed to be. I think Liam Neeson is really humorous and really shows that he has and was willing to go for it. And it's kind of a nice take, and it's kind of a nice bring back for what Liam Neeson is capable of doing, which is be a good actor, to be fairly honest. So overall, I think this movie is fun. I think it's entertaining. I love the cameos that show up. There'll be some that you recognize, some that you don't. It makes jokes that are really funny, and I think overall it's a really good fourth film. Whether it's the best of the series, no, because the first one's always going to be the funniest. I think that's some of the funniest things I've ever seen. But I think it's a movie that really gets its sense of humor. I think it gets its ideas and concepts, and I think it knows what it's going for, and it does it really well. So this is a really, really good Naked Gun movie. I think it's funny. I think it's entertaining. It's worth your watch, to be fairly honest. And once again, it's good for Naked Gun. So there you go. But with that said, that's going to be my take on the fourth film in the Naked Gun franchise. This one with Liam Neeson. Definitely worth a watch, especially if you like the franchise. But yeah, there you go. That's my take. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. In the comments below, let me know what you think overall of the Naked Gun franchise. What did you think about, what do you think of all of the original three? Are you looking forward to this one? Let me know why. But otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. His name is my name too. Whenever we go out, the people always shout, "There goes John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt." Da 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 da.